it's your boy Agent Albatross here again with the Cypher Unlimited crew. We have our usual suspects of AD or Alpha Dean. We have Spigs18 or Anthony. And just as a quick reminder, if you haven't already, be sure to follow us here on Twitch and subscribe to us over on YouTube. We just broke 1,000 followers there, but we're trying to get even higher. And we really appreciate all the help getting there and getting to where we've been. And it's been a ride. Thank you again. But Dean, what are we doing here tonight?
Man, it's that time of year, the Yuletide, family giving, getting together. So we decided we're going to talk about something everyone loves, gifts. We're going to talk about gifts we'd love to get from Monte Cook Games and the MCG crew, things that would make the community happy, that type of thought process. And then we're going to talk about gifts that we want from Monte Cook Games. If some way, somehow we could give it to them, or the world would decide to be nice to MCG. So some awesome things for them we hope to see in the near future. But before that, Anthony's going to tell us a little bit about our Sally NPC contest winner.
Yeah, you guys remember the whole talk about Sally NPC? We asked the community to create an NPC based on a running joke we did called Sally. And we actually have a winner. It's a fantastic submission. Sir James on the Discord. I'm not sure what James is called on the Twitch show. I know James hops on every once in a while on the Twitch show. I'm just not sure what his Twitch name is. But on the Cypher Unlimited Discord is Sir James for sure. And it was absolutely awesome. And Al, could you post so you guys can see what this NPC he created? Because this blew the three of us away and we had to give it to him.
Yep, it is on screen now. Everyone's seeing it. I can give us a read of what the card is. He basically made it like an NPC card. Very cool. Gave us some AI generated art that's lovely. But yeah, it was super well put together. So yeah, Sir James definitely our winner here. So yeah, let me go ahead and read Sally, or S4L-E, aka Sally. Sally is a 6'5" repurposed combat suit turned autonomous droid. Originally designed by a private military company, her AI was overhauled and rewritten to avoid confrontation and instead assist anyone who needs help. Her weapon, combat, and tactical database has not been altered, resulting in her occasionally salting her casual and jovial speech with deeply unsettling tactical advice. Demeanor is happy and upbeat. Personality, surprisingly friendly. Modifications, +2 to initiative. Knowledge of combat, +2. Unpleasant social interaction, -2. And distinguishing feature, she has several high-power weapons beneath her outer shell, but most have been welded permanently shut, leaving what look like long, deep scars. There is also a locked hatch on her back from when she was originally a combat suit. So cool. It's so awesome. Leave this on the screen here a little longer so people can get a good look at it.
First of all, this is freaking awesome. And not only are we, like we said on the stream, we're going to use this NPC in whatever next actual play we run. This NPC we also are going to send you a $50 Monte Cook Games gift certificate. Right after this show, I'll direct message you on Discord to get your email address so I could, we'll send it straight through the MCG store, whatever email you use for your MCG account. And yeah, you'll have the gift certificate by the end of the day today.
Yeah, yes. I like what Iago said. Sally, we hardly knew ye because of the context of the talk. Poor Sally's doomed. Oh no.
So yeah, once again, Sir James, congratulations. That was an awesome submission, and I can't wait to see it in the game, and I can't wait to whoever's running it or whoever's gonna get to use it, either partner with them or fight them or run them, either or. But you have a gift certificate on your way, and I'll send it. I'll contact you right after this stream.
Yeah, I mean, personally, I'm with Anthony. I cannot wait to see this NPC in action. And just so you know, Sir James, it has already been added to my cadre of NPCs. I'll be using it, at the game store or somewhere. So
I don't know. It might make its way into what you call it, Geo Roulette. You get a little writer credit as well.
Yeah. Awesome.
Ooh.
So, guys, without further ado, you ready to jump in?
Yeah, it's the holiday season. Ho, 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 and all that good stuff.
So, I guess we're going to start out with gifts we'd love to receive or love to see for the community from MCG. And, with that being said, Al, why don't you start us off?
Yeah, so I've mentioned this so many times before. I'm sounding like a broken record, I bet. But I would love to see from MCG, and I'm sure the community would love it too, is a Predation Companion expansion book. So new levels or additional leveling stuff for the companions, more options, maybe more dinosaurs, that sort of thing. Just a book focused completely on companions. It doesn't have to be in a super long book, but I feel like the community would absolutely eat this up.
Yeah, a predation book, that gets heard so much. So many people want an additional book. Out of all of the setting books, the Worlds of Cypher books, I think Predation is the one that screams for a second book.
Yeah.
Absolutely screams for a second book.
Absolutely. Predation just has so much potential. I mean, like you said, a companion expansion book would be awesome because I could just see even them expanding on, the setting itself and the all the societies, the butterflies and all of that would be awesome. Or like Al said, more stuff about companions. Just you name it, Predation could handle it, and it would be. Oof.
Yeah, even if it wasn't a book focused on companions, even if they did slight books or smaller books that focused on the factions or the areas, like, and anything to give us more predation. I'll just put it that way.
I mean, yeah, there's so many directions. You could just do a book on lore, to be honest.
Right,
Just
that's what I'm saying,
But also, I could see a book of gadgets, a book of, and yes, I know you can use the Strange and other books for, but just one specific. There's something about just reading the predation stuff that you'd be like, hey, I know I could makeshift any other cipher book to make it fit, but that's not the point. I want a book with some dinos on the cover. Say this is a second predation book.
Right.
Exactly.
And also, guys, we're gonna give our ideas of what we want, but be sure in chat put what your guys want as well, because we're definitely gonna talk about all your guys' wishes. A special gifts from MCG. I don't think the way MCG operates with their print cycle and the way they design books. I doubt any of our wish gifts will ever come to fruition for this year, but we can at least wish. That's why they call wishes to begin with.
And I want to say this. I want to read this from the chat before we move on. Donald, or Solo RPG Guy, says, "All I want for Christmas is a video of Anthony playing his Killer Clowns in Outer Space solo."
Yeah. I definitely want to learn solo. I've been meaning to get a hold of Donald because I really want to try solo play. I don't know. It's weird. Like, tell me if I'm just being like what you call an overhater about this, right? But I feel like I have no problems running the game for 5 or 6 strangers and have all the confidence in the world that I can run them a good game. But if I'm running a game for myself, I'm like, is it going to be fun? I don't know. I've never run a solo game. So I don't even know if I could GM for myself and make it enjoyable.
That's something we all probably need to experiment with.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
All right, I definitely want to get a hold of Donald.
All right, so basically we're going to move on to the next one. I'll take the next shot out there. I'd like to see a book of short stories or, an anthology with stories set in each of the mini settings from the toolkit books. I think stuff like that, like when you read the Numenera books, those always give you it immerses you into, the Numenera setting. The Myth of the Maker for the Strange immersed you into the setting, and you get to see it kind of like through the creator's eyes. So it would be awesome to see those worlds, just in a short story, or some novellas or something. I think those would be awesome. They would immerse you into the settings and give you the, kind of the feeling of what the authors are going for when they created that.
I saw output a chat a graphic novel. That would be even cool too. The short stories in graphic novel form. Can you imagine?
Yeah, absolutely.
Specifically, what gave me the idea was Claim the Sky. Like, imagine a Claim the Sky like comic book or graphic novel. That would be stellar.
Well, see, they did that years ago with Tallest. I have the original Tallest comics, and it was like 6 issues, and it was awesome. So, I mean, yeah, graphic novel, novella, short story anthology, whatever. I think those would, go over huge with the community, because it, like I said, it would give everybody, because everybody always asks us questions. Well, what is this? Or how would you express that? Or what do they mean by this? Or, well, there, right then and there, you kind of got a whole scenario from the authors themselves.
Since we're just asking, we're like dreaming for the. Wouldn't it be cool if they had like say like a monthly subscription, and every month you would get a graphic novel for one of the different setting books? You just wouldn't know which one it would be. So like in January you got a Predation graphic novel. February you got a Strange graphic novel.
Yeah, that would be awesome.
That would be awesome.
That would be so cool, actually, and
it would be expensive and a lot of money, but
it would definitely be a lot of money and expensive. But the community would actually eat that up. They're always clamoring for more details about the settings or the specific areas within the settings or the factions or whatever have you, and this would be an excellent way to get that information across with like a graphic. I know when we initially talked about novels would probably be the cheaper option, but now I'm hooked on the graphic novel idea where I want to see comic books of these stories, which again would be amazing to see.
Even short story novels at each.
That's what I said, novellas or an anthology of short stories.
Would be cool.
Yeah, some tournament guy said he would even take a monthly graphic novel in digital format just to save money for MCG.
That would be a really cool way to go about it.
Yeah, because 99% of us out here have tablets anyway, so just sit there and scroll through with your tablet.
Yeah, definitely comic book, like Jason's saying, like 24 pages a month. Like that's it's like a comic book a month.
Nah, I'm greedy. I want the
whole book.
Remember, I know Dean knows I'm talking about the old Marvel graphic novels, like the New Mutants.
Oh, you mean the giant? You remember they did the giant books?
That's for Captain Marvel. You remember those?
Where they did Superman versus Spider-Man and stuff.
Yeah.
It's definitely not practical monthly, no. But it would be nice. Oh yeah, I would love to see that though. That would be amazing.
I would take a comic book too, but I'm just greedy. What I want MCG to give to us is I want a non-kickstarted Cypher System bestiary. We need a bestiary. Like, hands down. And I don't want to sound ungrateful, but we had an opportunity for a bestiary and it didn't hit the stretch goal. Was it Claim the Sky, right?
Claim the Sky, yep. It
didn't hit the stretch goal, but out of everything there, that's the one book. Like, Cypher System has pretty much everything for you, but just a monster manual, for lack of a better term, that you could carry with you through any of these setting books. And I know that the process is usually, it gets funded through Kickstarter, but I think that there's been enough revenue generated over the last 5 years that they could throw us or me a bone and just put out a bestiary as a surprise. Like, you just show up on the, like, hey guys, look what's on the online store. It's here. I'll pay full price for it. I don't need it at the discounted price.
That would be pretty awesome.
They know we would pay for it anyway. If nobody else
I think anybody that plays Cypher System would pay for it.
Yeah, there would definitely be a big not demand, I guess is the word for it, but yeah, there would definitely be like a huge draw pull towards a product like that. And a lot of it could even be like stuff pulled from their other books together, like all in one place. Because they do have like a decent amount of creatures, but they're like in a million different books. You know what I mean? Because there's so many products now. But yeah, it would any way they go about a B series would be awesome.
That would be expensive. 296. Yo, Tomb of Beasts, the Tomb of Beasts books, they all 290 something pages, and they put one out like every year.
They put one out. It's like 300 monster, 300 each book, 300 to 500.
Yeah, and that's exactly. I want a book, like that has at least 300 pages, 250 pages.
Yeah. And that's also a possibility too. I mean, if they put it out that way as a PDF and print on demand,
because I think that's just one book that, like just the old gamer, maybe it's the old grognard gamer in me, but even though I don't play D&D as much, I still have in your mind, you always want that holy trinity, in like book form, like the even though we don't have a GM's guide, but you in your mind you want the player's handbook, the GM's guide, the monster manual, and Cypher System with everything else. The Cypher System core book is the GM's guide and the player's handbook, right? But we don't have a dedicated monster manual, and Numenera has 3 for Christ's sakes. The Stone has 2 for Christ's sakes. You gonna tell me that Cypher System can't have 1?
Oh man, but I think your age is showing quite a bit, or your grognard, or whatever you want to say, because I'm pretty content without it, right? So the Cypher System core book, like, gives us enough of a baseline. Like they give us a decent amount of creatures, NPCs, whatever you want to call them, and from that I could just make my own. Like I don't know, I don't need a whole book of like idea fodder. Like this gave me again. People would love it. People would eat this up because people love for me specifically, I would still get it because usually monster manuals have killer art in them. And that's what would drag me to a new bestiary. It would be all the new art we would see.
Al?
Yeah.
And as the oldest grognard on the air right now, I'm going to tell you, shut up, you little whippersnapper. Because
might be just me. I don't know.
No, it's okay, Al. I'm just messing with you, man. But I'm with Anthony.
I saw a chat, they're saying some stuff like it's expensive or the stuff gets kickstarted. Realistically, we're talking about a company that's generated $5 million over Kickstarter the last 5 years. They could throw me a bone.
Him specifically.
Yeah. But again, we're just spitballing out here, guys. And trust me, we love what we have. We know about converting and adapting and everything else. And somebody just tried to call me like right in the middle of the show.
That's MCG calling us, tell us to shut up.
They're like, guys, you're putting too many ideas in the community's heads. We can't do all this.
You guys keep talking. I'll be right back. I'm just gonna send a message to him. I'll get back to him.
No biggie. But yeah, no. A bestiary would be super cool. And again, I would love to just see the art that would come with a new bestiary and what cool ideas they would have. Like they could break it up like they do the Cypher Core, like the I guess the GM advice section where it's broken up by genre. They could just break up this bestiary book by genre, give us like 100 per genre or something like that, or like 75 or something.
Yeah, for the record, I know it's unrealistic to get it non-kickstarted because that's just not the model. But I just want to that surprise of, hey, the problem I have is that we back everything at the everything level, right? But I think that's a book that belongs in the core Cypher, in the core of your Cypher Unlimited collection, right? So even if it comes into the Kickstarter right now, it still be 2 years before we'll see that book. You know what I mean? And I just think that that was a book that needs to be in your core collection right now.
Oh, absolutely.
And Jagos mentioned a good point. There's another thing they could do by expanding the monsters and showing how they relate or interact to make it more interesting. And with the bestiary, if they do make one, and this will be very true to the Cypher nature, is along with the tons of bestiary stuff that we get, there could be a small section that templates creatures, like gives you a really detailed template so you could go on and create your own that do these things that Jago said, that, you know, show how they might relate or interact with their environment or with the players or something like that. Give more detailed advice on how to go about that. Yeah. That's an excellent idea.
Yeah, one of the issues with releasing setting books as one book only, and this came up with your point with Predation, right? If you only gonna release one book per setting, right, and it's only gonna be that one book, right, then the core Cypher system line, product line, has to supplement that. So they have to bring out bestiaries, because if you only giving, you know, you're going from one setting to one setting to one setting to one setting, and it's only having one book, then the Cypher system core line has to pick up that slack, if it makes any sense.
It definitely makes sense. It's very akin to what you're talking about with the holy trinity of books. Like when you go to play, let's say D&D, and you have that monster manual, usually that monster manual will spread across all the different little setting books that they have.
Exactly.
And, you know, they have been really good with that, you know.
That is a great point. With the seesaw, anyone could make a bestiary. Maybe it's time to tap my husband on the shoulder, because he's the artist, and throw down a little mini monster manual just to get people's taste wet.
You say get the taste buds wet?
So guys, a challenge. You guys have anything that you would wish MCG to put on the fan or community's tree? What would that be?
Yeah, definitely let us know. We'll talk about it. But while they chime in though, let's ask ourselves the important question. Of all the things we just discussed, which would make the community the most happy if it actually happened? Like if one of these were to actually happen. The bestiary thing, I personally think Predation would beat out a bestiary. And I'm not being biased. People love Predation.
That's actually I think that's a serious question. I think Dean's old Guangdog, give me a novella. That's out the window.
Yeah, that's out the window, unfortunately, yes.
Yeah, I think Predation, I think you might be right. I think Predation might beat a bestiary.
Good compromise. A bestiary for Predation.
I don't know. I don't know if I would. I honestly, I probably would say no, because Predation is niche. So everybody who loves Predation is going to be absolutely happy with a companion. But then you got some people who may not be into Predation. So that's going to cover. I think that will cover more of the community with the bestiary.
I agree with you there. Absolutely, the community, but it's a little unfair to say niche, Dean, because you remember when we did our
top.
Oh no, I'm not saying that, but it still is.
It was Numenera, the Strange, Predation, and everything else.
Right, I get that. Don't get me wrong. I get that. I'm not saying that's true, but I think if they came up with the bestiary, you're gonna satisfy the community as a whole. Yeah. Even though you had a number, that's saying even though you had a number 3, you know, the top 3, you know, even if you're giving them something else, I think as a whole the community would like go totally batshit crazy for, you know, a book with 300 new monsters in it. You know,
I still think the Predation name.
MCG's money, we could just add another 50 pages in my bestiary and just make it all dinosaurs. So now we're not 25 pages. we had 379 pages.
That's what I'm
This,
saying.
this
You
guy
want-
wants a tallest sized bestiary.
Since we spend the Charles's money anyway.
Oh man, but we got a couple people talking about things they would like to see. What you call it? Donald says they should make MCG should make their own official solo rules. Our solo guy always talking about solo. That would be cool. It would be awesome to see MCG lean into that solo play and produce something along those lines, like a rule set. That would be stellar.
Wasn't there an emulator on drive-thru that was so
Yes.
quick?
It's
There's
specifically for yeah. Go ahead.
there's one on Drive-Thru RPG. I actually have it. It's called Chaos. The Chaos
If
emulator.
anyone knows the Chaos emulator, whoever created that, could you please have them contact me either through Cypher Unlimited or over the Discord? We would love to have them on to talk about it.
We'll definitely reach out because that would be
That's
awesome.
Yagos in the chat said he wanted 20 pages of Cadillacs. Cadillacs and dinosaurs. That's his final offer.
So
Nice.
Jagos wants to see some cyberpunk sci-fi. Who else has said? Jason says an online character creator.
Yeah.
That would be freaking cool. I think we had someone. I don't know how much I can talk about, but I saw some
And whoever
cool
was
stuff
asking
from
about the
Stormbringer.
cyberpunk sci-fi, we do have that on good authority that's in the works. Not from MCG, of course, but with the CISO and so on and so forth. That's our good friends over at Marlowe House are working on that.
Working on what?
Working on the cyberpunk.
Blood and Chrome.
Working
Blood
on the
and Chrome.
cyberpunk. Blood and Chrome. Cyberpunk.
And in the chat here, Maximum Fluffy Cat, awesome name by the way. The best gift, a completed Cypher System 2.0 character generation app that cleanly generates a sheet and leaves space for tier 1 through 6 progression, which can be printed or exported. That would be the dream for a character creator, honestly. That would be fantastic.
Especially for Cypher System. I agree.
Oh, amazing. But yeah, I'm still firmly planted on the fact that I think the community would be happiest with a predation book. Of our 3 suggestions, from the chat suggestions, I think the character generator would be awesome. I think the community would flip to have something official like that.
Absolutely. Agree.
I mean, we know that there's actually several people that are actually working on that and in discussion with MCG. I don't know if it ever materialized, but I do know of 2 separate people that were working on that exact thing.
Yeah.
I don't know if it ever got finalized, but
Definitely something the community wants.
and
Definitely.
Yako also Cyphers also needs some Roll20 options and other VTTs. Absolutely. I think that's another another revenue stream that MCG hasn't fully utilized. Getting their core books on more than just Roll20, but on every VTT out there. I know there's logistics that could be nightmare for specific ones, but just as a fan, you would just like to see it.
I think with the CISO, we're going to start seeing more of that, though.
Yeah. There's definitely people working on stuff with the Seesaw for sure.
All right, so I think we've beat this horse good, and let's move on to our next portion of it. What gifts do we want for Monte Cook Games? Let's mix it up. The last time Al go first, and you go first this time.
All right, I think people are gonna love this. I mentioned this, I think once when we had Monty on, but I would love to see if Netflix could give MCG with a live action Numenera show on Netflix. Could you just picture Numenera you go in and like, hey, they did it with so many other great shows. They can absolutely do Numenera. And I think Numenera is one of those IPs that it just hasn't hit the bigger audience yet. And if a bigger non-gaming space audience actually saw the lore Numenera and saw it on the little screen like a TV show, I think it would absolutely take off. So my gift to MCG would be Netflix waking some executive at Netflix plays Numenera and say, hey, yo, we gotta turn this into a TV show.
That would be awesome.
I think we agreed on that one. I mean, we can see that for a lot of stuff, but Numenera is probably one of the richest, lore heavy, easily adaptable, and also just a playground for any creative out there. If they get the baseline lore, play a few sessions and then get inspired, you could make an amazing show. And with the production value of a lot of TV today, whether it be Netflix, Amazon Prime, Hulu, whatever, it would just be freaking awesome.
Fluffy Cat, Maximum Fluffy Cat said something awesome. If it would be awesome if they got the people who animated Arcane, the League of Legends show, to do an animated thing. Oh my god, that would be so good.
Yeah, you could go so many routes with Numenera. You could do an anime. You could do like a like a audio, like a serious drama. Like there's so many ways.
What would be cool is if they gave MCG the same kind of deal they initially gave the guys from who did Avatar, The Last Airbender, where they would have a live action show and then they would do a spin-off animated thing that, dealt with something else and, gave them another little, set of shorts. It would just, it was, because like you said, it's just that rich. It's massively just.
Yeah, and the reason why I chose Numenera to begin with, one, because I freaking love Numenera, but also it's their biggest IP. It has the video game. It's the biggest gross of sales in RPG books. It's it's their flagship. So if I'm gifting something to MCG, I might as well gift it to their biggest IP, because it's going to generate them the most revenue in the long run, because they'll drive video game sales. They'll drive, what you call it, it'll drive core book sales.
And on top of that, if they go with Numenera, they have more source material to work off, because there's the most Numenera books by far.
That's what I said. And that's what I'm saying though. When you think about Numenera, the one thing that I love about Numenera is that it is massive. That we have all those books to choose from. But what's even cooler about it, all that lore still leaves so much space for you to be creative. That's what I'm saying. So any creative writer, anybody who wants to put their spin or their stamp on it, have that ability and never lose the taste of what Numenera is. That's what I think is so brilliant, and why Anthony's suggestion is like really the best choice. So.
And someone mentioned in the chat about writers could make it look bad. I'm just saying, and I said in the chat too, we'd hopefully have some of the MCG crew also writing or going over the scripts or whatever have you before it actually gets released to, hopefully keep things, within their vision.
Well, the dream would be that, Monty, Bruce, and Shauna, who basically have written like all of our novels and stuff in there, would definitely be executive producers and consultants on everything that hit the screen. That's at least that would be part of the gift if I say so myself.
When we were going over what our ideas were, Dean had a similar idea that he wanted to do a Claim the Sky animated series.
Oh, that would be awesome.
And yeah, that would be awesome too.
Yeah, I would like to see Claim the Sky done in the same venue as like they did Invincible or Vox Machina or something like that, because that world is so cool. But, like Anthony said, mine was similar to that idea. So, I had to come up with something else.
But either way, I would still like to see that too.
Absolutely.
It's a similar idea, but it's still a dope idea.
And Maximum Fluffy Cat, also same thing you just said, Dean, with the the Legend of Vox whatever type conversion. We would play a session of Claim the Sky, an epic session, and then they turned that into the cartoon.
Hey, we already got the baseline.
We got the
Remember,
beginning. Yeah, we got the beginning
Sean
already.
ran us through it. We've got the characters already. I mean, hey, there it is right there.
El Animal.
El Animal. Yeah, and see, now we can finally find out what happened.
Yeah. Well, the nice thing that is what is on screen can generally be done in Numenera. That is not true for most game systems. That's true. We could replay whatever the show is going on in the show.
Yeah. So I'm gonna go next. The next idea we had was let MCG get a free print run of Invisible Sun. So somebody decides that they just need Invisible Sun out there for the world. This way they can re-release it at a lower cost and more people can play it. Because Invisible Sun is like to me, it's like the other Numenera. It's another one of those worlds that's so rich with lore, but wide open, and it could probably, in my opinion, it would fix the problem I had with like Harry Potter and the magicians and all of this, because it seems like to me, Invisible Sun does magic right. The magical world.
I think this is this would be an awesome gift to MCG. I think one of the reasons why, you don't see print runs of Invisible Sun as often as you should is the actual cost to print Invisible Sun is like 4 or 5 times the amount of cost it is to print any other RPG product. And 2 is that it's so expensive as a consumer that you sort of like block half the gaming audience, because not every group has one person that's willing to shell out $300 for a game that everybody might not play, right? So and it's sad because it's probably one of the greatest art, and I'm not just like blowing smoke up MCGs, but it's probably one of the greatest designed RPGs I've ever seen in my life. Like not only RPG, just game period. It's it's probably top 3 all time.
What's cool about Invisible Sun, and it's something that I've had a problem with many other games, over the years, and all the different games I've played, is games will try to build in different systems to reflect magic versus psionics versus science versus, so on and so forth. And it's crazy that Invisible Sun literally bakes in magic, but different ways of expressing it, and it doesn't bog the game down. You know what I'm saying? Where they talk about the maker versus the weavers, and it's interesting how you see all of the concepts that you've ever seen, in novels about, magic, being wielded by this type of person who can weave the strands of magic versus a person who, is an artificer and he infuses magic into things versus another person, who does magic in another way. These things are all baked in, but they are somehow built to work. And it's brilliant. It is absolutely brilliant. And it doesn't take anything from the game, anything from playtime. And everybody kind of gets to be their own unique spellcaster. And it brings all of that stuff in.
Let me ask you this. You think if Invisible Sun would have came out as $100 product, it would be way more popular than it is now?
By far, yeah.
Yeah.
Or if they had sold it in pieces, like other games, how we had to buy a monster manual, a DM's guide, so on and so forth. If you had to buy all the tradition books, separately, as opposed to getting everything in one grouping.
The price was definitely a barrier for a lot of people. And I think that's a big reason as to why a lot of people, they want an easier point of entry, which is why everyone was so excited when the PDFs came out.
Yeah.
But PDFs are nice and all that, but the physical aspect of Invisible Sun is kind of major. Like all the stuff you get is so cool, like especially that little hand. But
the
Yeah,
cards. No, but you see, I don't think Invisible Sun will work as a separate. It's selling the individual. They will have to repackage the whole thing.
Well, no,
Because
I'm saying it would have to be repackaged. Think of it this way.
the way the books are written, you kind of need all of them to
And that's
understand the game together.
But that's what I'm trying to say. If they restructured it, broke it down, you'd have the core rule book, which talked about magic in of itself, and they gave you brief overviews of the different traditions of magical skills. But then you had to have a tradition book for each of the different mages, and then you had to have a book, that talked about like how they have like the Nightshade book and so on and so forth. Each of those things, if it was sold like that, it would still work out to the same kind of cost. But again, it's just a different way. But Al was saying,
it's bleeding you slowly instead of stabbing you in the gut.
Exactly. But the one thing Al said is another massive point. There is something very tactile about Invisible Sun that's very necessary. I've played online a couple of times and stuff, and a good game master can translate pretty well, the tabletop experience through VTTs and so on and so forth. But if you're sitting at the table and you've got those props and everything, it's another level of immersion that Invisible Sun brings. Like I said, it fixed, issues I had with other things that kind of wanted to bring, like Harry Potter's Wizarding World. The actuality really feels like I'm stepping into this surrealistic, magical realm of possibility. And I felt like I was a different kind of mage versus the guy sitting next to me, even though both of us in our own rights were, these powerful creatures. It's just something really unique about Invisible Sun that makes it cool as hell.
Yeah, Omen Al brought up a great point. He said Invisible Sun is a premium product to draw you in. Yeah, that's why the actual gift to MCG was to give them a free print run so they could just lower the cost and keep it the same premium luxury product, but they could sell it for cheaper because they're not paying anything for it.
Just think if they could reprint it, if they could reprint that 40-pound box and say everybody got their 40-pound box for half price, $125. Man, that would be awesome. That would be mad.
It is $250. It is a high barrier entry, but it's worth everything.
Every penny.
It's worth every penny. I'm just saying that the cost created a barrier for, maybe half the gaming group that doesn't want to pay that cost.
Right, and that's what I'm saying. That cost, that high cost, and then the possibility of not having a gaming group to play. Those two things are difficult, because the biggest problem we face today, more so than anything, is, the 3,000-pound gorilla standing in the corner, which is 5e. Everybody wants to play 5e. People really, it's so hard unless you get them from the beginning. So
it's definitely a rough time for those who missed Invisible Sun, and it would be awesome, and the community would absolutely lose their mind if something like this were to happen. So that would you never know. Fingers crossed.
So Al, what's your gift to MCG?
So mine is a pretty easy one, and I think it would do Monte Cook Games a world of good if a hugely popular IP were to approach them to make a Cypher system TTRPG. So like if a popular anime or a popular book or movie that doesn't have a system or a TTRPG already. So like My Hero Academia is one I would love to see. Things that people in general would love, like Star Trek or something, something very major. If those IPs approached Monte Cook Games like, hey, can we do a Cypher system version of this universe, of this world, of this IP? That would be an awesome gift for them, and I'm praying one day that some huge company does that. We kind of saw a glimpse of it with Old Gods of Appalachia because that has a gigantic following, but imagine if, like, let's say again, My Hero Academia, like that's hugely popular even with people who don't really watch anime. Like that would bringing a whole bunch of new people.
I would definitely play the crap out of a My Hero Academia.
Yeah,
You and
yeah.
me both. I mean, listen, honestly, and nothing against the new 616 and Matt Forback doing it, but if Marvel had went to MCG and said, "Hey, build the MCU into Cypher system," I'd have lost my shit. I'd have danced a jig, and I'd have been saving money because I'd probably buy 5 copies just because. Exactly.
Okay, for shits and giggles, right? Everybody think of one IP. It can't be an IP that currently has an RPG out, because that's not fair. So think of one IP right now that you would want MCG to have. I guess, Al, you take it My Hero Academia?
Yeah, I would say that, or even like Sailor Moon. Sailor Moon's like hugely popular, like, and they just like Sailor Moon recently came out with something new, maybe like a year or two ago. And real quick, while you guys are thinking, what the fuck, or excuse me, WTF Pwned, that's a person's name in the chat, said Magpie Games had a similar phenomenon when they got the Avatar IP, Avatar: The Last Airbender.
Absolutely.
We saw how that exploded, like, and it's just because it's Avatar. Like, FMA would be amazing, Jago said. Full Metal Alchemist, that would be awesome.
Oh, yo, I got mine. This might be a little, I'm going with Evil Dead Army of Darkness.
That's a good one. That's a good one.
Well, because they don't have anything right now, I would say the DC universe, like Titans, Teen Titans or something like that. I think that would be absolutely.
Is it there DC? Yeah, there is a DC.
There's no current DC game. There's nothing new out with DC as a RPG.
Really?
I'm pretty sure there is a DC game.
I wouldn't know, but that would be cool as
hell.
hell.
The old game, the last one was what's the name?
DC Adventures, right?
Yeah, way back when it was not.
Oh, DC Adventures is still in print, dude. I'm looking at it right now.
It's not new. There's nothing new.
The supplement October 23rd, 2013. I mean, 2013. You're right. Wait, hold on.
There's nothing going on now. I know that dude. I'm the resident superhero.
No, you're right. I'm a dumbass.
Yeah, how you gonna try to correct the resident superhero nerd?
Guy. Hey, if it was a DC game, I
admit it.
That would be awesome.
If there was a superhero RPG out for DC, I'd own it.
Well, I'm still going with Army of Darkness.
Oh no, Army of Darkness would be. Listen, zombie.
Oh, and
George Romero's Zombie World.
The Tick RPG.
Oh God.
It said open out. Dang, I just had something on the tip of my tongue to say about this too. Oh, any like Image Comics would also be a good draw for them, like The Walking Dead or something. Like, I would love a Walking Dead RPG.
Well, anything that had to do with the zombies. If they just did the zombie genre, whether it was Walking Dead, George Romero's Zombie World, Night of the Living Dead, all of that stuff.
How about Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy?
Oh, that's a cool one. I mean, I full disclosure, I haven't seen or read it or anything, but I know people love it.
Now, you want to know what? If we want to go back in time a little bit.
Yeah, because everything sounds like supers. I'm trying to get something that isn't.
Well, I said if we want to go back in time a little bit, and I'm sure at my age, some of you probably won't even know what I'm talking about, but Anthony will know. What about a Last Starfighter Cypher system game?
Yeah, but that would be dope. But the only people that be playing are me and you who go old asses.
What is it? Sir James said Mystery Men. That would be cool.
And Rice to interview with a vampire.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, get some of that vampire cash.
or we could always do Rick and Morty.
Oh, Rick and Morty.
Well, Rick and Morty already has D&D stuff. But people do love Rick and Morty. But there's so many big companies or IPs or whatever.
They did do a Rick and Morty box set.
There is a D&D Rick and Morty thing.
Yeah,
okay.
Actually, I think they had an actual play on YouTube too.
I have no idea. But there's so many fun.
That's a big good one.
Fun universes to that could
The X
approach.
Files. Let's go back. Let's go to the X Files.
Oh, you know what would be awesome, and this would be cool as hell. Gravity Falls. Yo, Alex, I'm gonna tweet at Alex Hirsch.
Yo,
Gravity Falls
yeah,
would be
okay.
awesome,
Al,
bro.
I'm gonna pull one of your. You know, I've never seen Gravity Falls.
No, get out of here.
I've never seen one episode.
Yo, go watch that right now.
Yeah,
Gravity
Right
Falls.
now.
What is? I don't know about it either. Al.
Yo, what? Yo, it's a kids cartoon. It's on Disney, but it has very deep. It's like cryptid. Like these two kids, these twins. They go out into the woods to live with their uncle for summer, and they go into a lot of cryptid stuff. But buried
honest with
underneath
you.
that, there's more lore to the universe. It's crazy. It's such a good
I'll
show.
be honest with you. I'll probably never watch it. I hate this animation style.
Oh my god, bro, it's so good, homie. Oh my god.
You know what? I'm like that even with comic books. If I can't stand the art, I can't read it. I missed out on years of the Silver Surfer comic because I hate Mike Allred's art.
I
And
will say
Silver Surfer. You know the Silver Surfer is my favorite character.
I will say this before we move on, because we're talking about it. My name, Ancient Albatross, was actually derived from my. I went through a couple of name changes like a little while ago, and I was Ancient Sins for a while, and that's while I was in the Gravity Falls fandom and watching it a lot. And there's a scene in Gravity Falls where they're like in some mansion, and there's busts of animal, like busts, whatever, I don't know what you call the trophy heads along the walls, and they all start chanting Ancient Sins while blood drips out of their it's wild, bro. But that's where the ancient from my name comes from. It's Ancient Sins from Gravity Falls.
Nice.
Oh, nice.
I mean-
didn't see that.
I mean, you know
Yeah.
what? Maybe if I can find some place just to read the lore.
Yo,
But-
it's good. It's good, bro.
No,
It's
and
so
I believe
good.
you, Al. I really do. But that is my biggest, I guess you say, my one detractor. If I can't get past your artwork, I cannot delve into your stuff. Like I said, I missed out on years of the Silver Surfer comic book because I hated the artist they had drawing.
Chad put up some great suggestions.
Yeah, I'm reading through it now.
Land of the Lost, Lost in Space. There's so many good IPs they could take.
And it's funny you guys mentioned, or I guess I don't know if it was Omenal or Maximum Fluffy Cat, but kaiju like Godzilla or Pacific Rim. Our good friend Eric Frankhouse is currently working on something for Cypher System.
Is there a Pacific Rim RPG?
No,
Yes.
wait, is there?
Actually, it hasn't been released to the public yet, but they did it with Everyday Heroes, which is going to be the new D20 Modern that I did the Kickstarter. They actually have Pacific Rim.
Like the actual IP, right?
Yes, they have the actual.
Cool.
They have the IP for Pacific Rim. They have it for The Crow. They have Escape from New York. They've got a lot of the
New York. That'll be awesome.
dude. They've got a lot of the classics. It's like that's going to be the Everyday Heroes is going to be dope with the IPs that they have, locked in already.
I didn't know that.
Mad
I
Max.
remember reading somewhere that I knew that Pacific Rim had somebody had that IP.
Here, let me look it up real quick. I'll tell you all the stuff that's going to be with that Everyday Heroes.
Since I wasn't on last week, I just want to say something. I just want to say we didn't get a chance, but Latia is no longer working with Monte Cook Games, and I just want to wish her all the best. She just recently got a job working for
Wizards of the Coast.
So Latia,
Congratulations.
yeah, congratulations. Thank you for everything you did for us, and we really appreciate it. And
Yes.
we never got to talk about it on air. So congratulations to Latia on her new gig, and wish her nothing but the best and great happiness going in the future. And,
Yes.
and don't be a stranger.
Yeah, like you said on Twitter, or I guess you said on Discord, but you have a place to cipher out when you want to play some Cypher. Like the CU will always be here.
Okay, so for 2023, the season pass for Everyday Heroes, Universal Soldier, Escape from New York, Rambo First Blood, Total Recall, The Crow, Highlander, Pacific Rim, and King Kong.
So a lot of those I haven't seen, but I have seen Total Recall.
So they're doing Kong Skull Island, Highlander. Like I said, it's crazy.
But you know what's funny? Everything you mentioned there maybe for the exception of Pacific Rim, you could do with the Cypher System core rulebook.
Oh,
Yes.
absolutely.
For
Absolutely.
sure.
Absolutely. You know, you can do all of it, but it's just the fact that they've got the IPs and
Yeah.
it's plugged into, 5e. Well, yeah, well, the modified 5e for everyday heroes,
Mhm.
which is cool stuff, though.
But before we get even more sidetracked, let's ask ourselves this: out of all the things we mentioned, our gifts that we would want to MCG to receive, what do you think, out of everything we discussed, would make the community the happiest? Like they would love to see the most out of everything we mentioned. Personally, I think the big IP would be. I know I keep picking my own thing.
I gotta totally disagree with you on this one.
You think they'll show?
What I think the show, or to be honest, I think if Invisible Sun came out for $100,
that is true. No, yeah, I take that back actually. If we could get Invisible Sun for 125, the community would lose their shit.
If you get Invisible Sundown, that would be massive. But I think the TV show would probably be the biggest thing for the community because it would.
The thing with the IP, which I don't think why it wouldn't be, is because just look right now. We've had a million different. Everyone has a different of opinion. Unless we're talking Star Wars, then where everybody could agree upon, what may be a big IP for me might not be a big IP for you, or a big IP for Dean is not the same. So yeah, I think
Makes sense.
Overall community.
Yeah, it definitely makes a lot of sense
Yeah,
when you put it in that perspective.
I think the TV show for Numenera will probably be the big because first of all, the community itself we would be all over it, but then the community would grow.
Yeah.
Because once people saw it and they found out that it was an RPG and they could play around with it and all of this kind of stuff, and the fact that D&D is a big name and popularity, that I think that would be massive.
It definitely would. What you call it? Especially if they did it a la what is it, Vox Machina and whatever have you, where they follow someone's campaign and like just animate it. Like I think that would draw people in so crazy, and it would be awesome.
Yeah,
there's so many ways they could do it.
And that's what I'm saying. I mean, even if it wasn't if they did anything live action, it would be massive. But Numenera, stupid crazy.
Yeah, it's like what you said earlier, Dean. There's just so much lore to build. There's so many books that the writers could take from that. They'll have like 10 seasons worth of episodes just from the existing books that are out
right
now.
I mean, could you imagine if they just used the core rule book and what is it, the guide, the guide to Numenera, the guidebook? Those two alone would be just ridiculous.
And chat seems to agree that a show or movie would be like the best bang for like MCG's wish, I guess, or like their gift would be the show. I mean, I think I agree with that too. While Invisible Sun would make current MCG fans very happy, the prospect of a show or animated series or whatever have you would drag in new people, a bunch of new people, which would be awesome.
Yeah. And speaking of which, we actually have to get a bunch of gear, and we haven't run any Numenera on the stream. We've played a couple action plays of Numenera for other channels, but I don't think we've ever run Numenera on the Cypher Unlimited channel.
Matter of fact, we got to get our butts in gear and run some stuff. The three of us haven't run anything in probably the last 3 to 4 months.
Yeah, I was going, and still am going through some personal issues, but I'm back. I'm back in the fold. I'm back, baby.
I just been so busy with all this crazy writing, man. They keep calling me to write stuff. So, but it's okay. I'm not mad about that either.
Write your ass an adventure for the street.
But that's what I'm saying. I got to write an adventure for the channel.
Can I get a drum roll, please? He like start that one up. Can I?
Ooh, but yeah, I think this has been a pretty good talk. we hit the nail on the head on these topics. Unless you think anything else you think we can talk about, but
No,
yeah.
Yeah, I think we pretty much hit the happy holidays. We'll definitely be back next week, but we wanted to do a holiday episode. And thank you for the kind words in chat. We really appreciate it. If you like us and you like what we do, join the Cypher Unlimited Discord server for all things Monte Cook Games. We have the largest fan-run Discord server with over 4,000 members and growing. But if Discord's not for you, join our Facebook group. It's not as big as our Discord, but there's great conversations being had there every day. If feeling the kindness of your heart, give us a sub here on Twitch, or please go to our YouTube channel and like, share, and subscribe there. We hit 1,000 members there, but we're trying to get to 2,000. Help us reach our goal. If you want us to support us some way financially, our videos are always free, but you can always give us a little donation on Patreon, or visit our online store and pick up some cool Cypher Unlimited merch, like the beautiful shirt that Dean got on. I'm not sure if we have GM Roulette shirts, but we'll definitely have some up there soon.
Oh, we do.
Last but not least, we love you guys.
Any parting words, Dean?
Well, we do have GM Roulette shirts, just so everyone does know.
Oh, we do? Okay.
Yes, we do. I just didn't wear one tonight, but they're on the site. And everybody, like Anthony said, we love you guys. Happy holidays. We will be back to running some games and getting some stuff together for you guys out there. But again, thank you all for all your support. Thank you all for always hanging out with us.
Congrats again, Sir James, on the giveaway.
And congratulations again, Sir James. Absolutely. Great NPC.
Oh, real quick, in case anyone missed it, because we did it early, here's Sally again. This was the winner of the Sally contest. They gave us a nice description, some wonderful AI-generated art. Yeah, thank you again, Sir James, for your submission, and congratulations. But yeah, as usual, or excuse me, happy holidays. That's not as usual, so happy holidays. We'll see you guys next week. And yeah, thank you again so much. And from us at the CU, we will see you later.